Right. So after this part we completed two chapters, bailment and pledge, indemnity and guarantee. So first, bailment and pledge concern. Bailment means transfer of movable property from one person to another person for some purpose, and after accomplishment of such purpose, delivered back or disposed of in accordance with the directions of the bailor. That is the content of the bailment. Now, in the bailment contract, there are two types of the bailment contracts: gratuitous bailment and non-gratuitous bailment. In case of the gratuitous bailment, benefited person might be bailor or bailee, but non-gratuitous bailment concern, both parties will be benefited. Next, rights of bailor concern. Rights of bailor. Suppose బెయిలార్కి సంబంధించిన రైట్స్ని డిస్కస్ చేసినప్పుడు అమ్మ డిఫరెంట్ టైప్స్ ఆఫ్ ద రైట్స్ అన్నీ ఉన్నాయి. అందులో మనం కొన్ని మాత్రమే డిస్కస్ చేసాం. ఇస్ క్లియర్? సో అవుట్ ఆఫ్ ఇస్ ద ఫస్ట్ వన్, రైట్ టు క్లెయిమ్ డ్యామేజెస్. Suppose if there is any negligence at the part of the bailee and any losses caused, bailor has a right to claim damages. And apart from that, if there is any unauthorized use, bailor has a right to claim compensation. And apart from that, if there is an authorized mix of the goods, if those goods are separable cost has to bear. If it is not separable, cost of goods has to bear. Next, termination of contract. If there is any inconsistency with the terms and conditions of the bailment, bailor has the right to terminate the contract. And next, right to receive back the goods. After accomplishment of the purpose, the bailor has the right to demand back the goods. And apart from that, in case of the gratuitous bailment, bailor has an unconditional right to terminate the contract. Is it right? No. In case of the gratuitous bailment, bailor can terminate at any point of time. And next, can claim increase or profits from goods. Any increments arises out of the bail property, bailor has the right to claim such increments also. Next, duties of bailor concern. Disclosure of defects. If there is any defect in the bailment of the goods, it is a responsibility of the bailor to disclose such defects. Suppose in case of the non-gratuitous bailment, whether the defects he may knows or may not knows, it is a responsibility of the bailor to deliver the property in good condition. If he is not in a position to deliver the good in a good condition, whatever the loss caused to the bailee, it is a responsibility of the bailor to bear such risk. Suppose in case of the gratuitous bailment, if he knows the defect and disclose, the bailor won't get any liability. Suppose the bailor knows the defect and he didn't disclose, then whatever the loss cost, the bailor has to bear the risk. And next, reimbursement of expenditure. In the course of the bailment, whatever the reasonable expenditure incurred by the bailee, it is the responsibility of the bailor to reimburse such expenditure. And next, and apart from that, for returning of the goods, in accordance with the directions of the bailor, whatever the expenditure incurred by the bailee for return of the goods, such cost has to be borne by the bailor. That is the duty of the bailor. And compensation to the bailee. Suppose bailor has the right to terminate the contract at any point of time. By termination of the contract at any point of time, whatever the loss cost to the bailee, it is a duty of the bailor to bear such risk and bound to accept the goods. When the bailor, after accomplishment of the purpose, when the bailee intended to deliver back, it is a duty of the bailor to accept the goods. And apart from that, if there is any defective title of the bailor and any loss cost to the bailee, it is duty of the bailor to bear the risk or cost. And next, duty to bear normal risk. So suppose by act of the gods or any natural calamities happen or occurred, in such a situation, bailor has to bear the risk. Right? Rights and duties of bailor is over. And next, rights and duties of the bailee, nothing but simply we can say that rights of the bailor equal to duties of the bailee. Duties of the bailor equal to, that's it. And thereafter we discussed the concept of the finder of lost goods. Finder of the lost goods. The person who finds the goods belonging to the some other person is known as finder of lost goods. Now there will be an implied bailment contract. The finder of the lost goods has to trace the true owner and return back the goods. And in returning the process, whatever the expenditure incurred by him, such expenditure can be recovered from the bailor. And apart from that, any rewards declared by the bailor, the bailee, that is the finder of the lost goods, can claim rewards as well as reasonable expenditure incurred by him. And apart from that, the finder of the lost good does not have a right to sell the property. But in two exceptional situations, he can sell the property. The first one, the reasonable expenditure incurred by him exceeds 2/3 of the value of the property. And number two, goods are perishable nature and greater part of the good has been damaged or it may lost. Next, rights of lien. Right of lien means taking into the custody of some other person good. Where a person exercising some right of lien means he exercised his skill, labor or something treatment on the goods belonging to the some other person, and such some other person is reluctant to pay the consideration. In such a situation, you have a right to claim right of lien. That is, you can demand the consideration by possessing or retaining the good of the some other person. That is the concept of the right of lien. Right of lien are two types: general lien and particular lien. Particular lien concerns the property which in your possession. Only with respect to that good you can claim consideration. That is called particular lien. But whereas general lien concern, even the property possession might be lost, even in relation to the previous goods, you can claim the consideration. If you have a such right, we can say that you have a general lien. And hardly we can say that the banker, wharfinger, policy broker, attorney, that is lawyers, they have a general lien. In the ordinary course of the business, all the business persons have only particular lien, but by agreement they can waive or they can increase their right. And next, when the bailment can be terminated, in different ways the bailment contract can be terminated. Is it the death of the bailer or bailee, termination of the bailer, inconsistencies of the goods, achievement of the object, is it destruction of the subject matter? These are the various situations in which the bailment contract can be terminated. Antena? Bailment contract. Is it clear? Good.